get much, but it didn't matter. He was setting up the plays. So here we go. Pick and ban getting underway. First ban comes in is the Orianna ban taken away from Jesiz.
So like this, early on, straight towards Jesiz, take away one of his comfort champions. We just saw Froggen play Orianna. Very strong in the laning phase. You can pick up a lot of farm and then of course use it in the team fights. And now, thank you MILLENIUM, Kale coming in as second ban. 2 bans towards Jesiz, really trying to put him on something where Kerp should be able to punish him.
Did you share your thoughts with Kerpy?
I didn't actually do it with Kerpy, and I like the fact we're going to use the name now.
That's going to maybe become a thing. KL, as you mentioned, ban out 100% win rate for Jesiz on that one. Overall,
did you know, by the way, we always talk about how Kerp only has 1 trackball. He actually showed me he has like 4 now in his back. So he's bringing loads of trackball.
Good, so the MILLENIUM management have been listening, that's what that is. Zig's banned out, Jesiz actually crippling himself now. What's he going to go with?
So for Jesiz, I mean, he's been playing Yasuo, he's played Zed a few times, Kassadin now even. That's the thing about MILLENIUM.
Blue side ban.
Yes, MILLENIUM, Kerp, he doesn't play Kassadin, he didn't do it last split either. They keep banning it away on blue sides. Again, very predictable for the other team, saying we don't have to ban Kassadin.
Well, if they don't go for LeBlanc, it will get picked, I feel, for Kerp. Froggen
5 mid lane bans.
Has been banned out, yeah. All of the mid lane. Final choice. Not sure about the tabs. I suppose it is. Kerp has played it a few times, but it does leave LeBlanc on the table, which I feel MILLENIUM are going to be like, they baited us into this one. Do they want us to take this champion?
So, okay, we have to remember her Q no longer silent, so she's slightly weaker than before. Still a good pick, but not the same kind of lane dominance we've seen from LeBlanc early on.
Twisted Fate is available.
TF is open, exactly. Could be the option.
Both of these.
Caitlyn, Lucian open. I say the carries in case they want to go for one of them early on. Supports, actually. Every single support is open at the moment. And of course Lee Sin. Predicted.
Gonna go for the Lee Sin in there. There's Evelynn and Lulu actually for Jesiz instead of that TF. We talk about it, of course. You know, we've shown the LeBlanc TF matchup that MILLENIUM faced Alliance yesterday.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out very well. But with Lulu being locked in, we'll see how it works out. There is TF potentially being picked up by MILLENIUM.
And if they do lock it in, then with Lee Sin, you can set up some early gangs, some skirmishes, some fights where you're going to be very, very strong with both Lee Sin and Twisted Fate. Still though on the side of SK Gaming, early picking Lulu, of course he can still go to the top lane. Don't expect to see Freddy actually playing Lulu, he normally prefers the bruisers, so expect it to be Jesiz in the mid lane. And SK Gaming saying early on, we want to make sure we get a pick. Jesiz really can play in his mid lane here, we don't want to risk anything with 5 mid lane bans.
Well, Svenskeren's been playing Jarvan a few times lately, so he's back on to Evelynn. Morgana, of course, left available, been banned out so heavily in 4.10, but it seems it snuck through the cracks because of the focus on the mid lane.
So a cool thing you can do when you have Morgana Twisted Fate is, first of all, you have a lot of CC to set up a gank, and also, once Twisted Fate teleports down, it's always the risk that people are going to turn around and just blow you up because you are fairly squishy. Black Shield instantly as you joins in, won't get crowd controlled, and can therefore move around like you want to. So overall, good early picks here from MILLENIUM. Good teamfight potential. Good pick potential, especially land of binding, land of stun from Kerp, and you have a lot of CC combined here. And SK Gaming, with Lulu of course to disengage, with the Wild Growth, which is going to work really well against whatever target MILLENIUM decides to land all the single target CC they have on.
Well, Zyra was chosen yesterday, I think it was nRated actually played it then as well. It was. And this Kog'maw has been locked in. Okay, so this is an interesting one because there was a choice of all of the AD carries out there. Anything he could have gone for. Went for Kog, who has, as we mentioned, been banned quite heavily in Korea, of course. Looking back at 4.9 as well, Kog'maw was coming into his own.
He was a very strong pick, and the thing is, you used to build Blade of the Ruined King into Trinity Force, into Last Whisper and Vintage, whatever you wanted as your late game items. He never really built Bloodthirster. So he doesn't get affected by the fact it's now changed. He can do his same build as before, either go Blade first into Trinity Force or go Trinity Force and then Blade afterwards, and be very strong actually already in the mid-game points of the game, and then of course scale into late game as well and be this monster we always know he can be. And then when you put Zyra next to him, when you put a Lulu, you have so much protection for him, you have so much disengage, that if CandyPanda gets a good start here, if he gets going, he can really carry teamfights for SK Gaming.
He's expecting to get going. I know for a fact I talked to him yesterday about obviously Caitlyn being viable. He was so excited about this patch. He said, I love this patch, I absolutely love it. It really goes to my playstyle. So CandyPanda feeling confident in this one. Of course, Lucian and Aatrox was picked up. We saw Freddy playing Aatrox yesterday. This time he's going to be up against it in that top lane with the Trundle.
And notice what we see here for both top laners. they have sustain. They can get health back, don't even need a Dawn's Blade to do it, and therefore they fit into now the current state of 4.10, where lifesteal, of course, is reduced. So overall, both top laners looking for the same thing, want to be able to sustain in the lane, want to be able to stay in the lane for as long as possible, and don't get too affected by the 40 seconds longer teleport cooldown. But overall, if you look at just the team fights, I mean, SK Gaming is all about CandyPanda. We're gonna make sure you stay alive and you just melt everyone from MILLENIUM, and then you have Freddy and Svenskeren to try and go towards the backline of MILLENIUM here, where MILLENIUM is gonna look for small fights, not necessarily big team fights. They wanna have Aatrox split pushing. You can even put Lucian with Ghostblade and Blade of the Ruined King to split push as well, and then TF just joins in, or you put Lucian in the mid lane instead to farm with Infinity Edge, with whatever late game item you want, and then TF is the guy split pushing. So they have multiple options to try and spread out the map and look for picks here and look for small fights. There's a lot of stuff.
You're excited about this one, aren't you? I can tell. You're a little excited. So the team comps have been picked. Which one do you think has come out ahead? Tweet at LOL Esports with hashtag MILLWin or hashtag SKWin, and check out the results in just a few moments. And of course, you know, talking about how the builds are going to go, what do we expect then? So we just saw, of course, a Lucian, Blade the Ruined King, Ghostblade.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Creaton, I think he played Lucian as well.
He didn't
he went Infinity Edge Triforce.
He did. Went for the late game build here. It cost a lot
against the Kog'maw, who will 100% be building Blade the Ruined King first.
Yeah, or Trundle, but still, then afterwards we'll build it. So he will go towards the items.
Reckless does say sometimes he goes Triforce.
You can mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this game underway. Game 2 of the day. SK Gaming in second place, chasing hard. They've just seen, of course, Alliance winning. They know they need another victory to try and keep in check with them to chase for that top spot. So, MILLENIUM starting out as the blue team. Can they prevent SK from picking up a win here as the red team? And
again, MILLENIUM, they're really looking to just fight in this mid-game point here as much as possible. Gang around with TF. Creaton can set up fights here. Jree can land a binding. Of course, Aatrox can split push one-on-one, and then TF joins in, and you turn it around to 2v1 very fast, where SK Gaming can look for late-game team fights instead, and just protect CandyPanda as much as possible. Freddy scales really well into the late game. Evelynn is a good jungler in late game as well. You build very tanky, you go in there, you just take as much damage as possible. So overall, SK Gaming, late game team fights, MILLENIUM, picks everywhere, and don't really want to go too late game in this game here, because then they're going to get outscaled.
Oh, we'll see how it works out for them. MILLENIUM generally don't do quick games. SK absolutely do. They hold the fastest games, I believe, currently in the European LCS. They've had a couple of 25-minute matches in the previous 2 splits. At the moment, they are not looking to go for an invade, I don't think. You can see Kerp was roaming. He went up towards the top there, but he's quickly moving back into position.
And the AD carries here, especially Creaton, how he decides to build Lucian. It's going to be a big thing. If he goes for the Blade of the Ruined King Ghostblade, he's definitely looking for the mid-game fights here, looking to close out the game. If he instead goes for Infinity Edge as the first item, goes towards the late-game build, it could be to try and prevent CandyPanda outscaling him too hard, at least until we hit the real late-game point. MILLENIUM now, moving in towards this red buff here. Freddy's waiting for him.
They've got 4 members at the top here. Freddy's going to have to back away. Dark Binding possibilities from Jree, not going to go too aggressive. SK responding to this. You can see CandyPanda and nRated already moving in, and Svenskeren, he's making tracks. He's heading straight down towards that red buff over on MILLENIUM side of the map. So it's going to be a trade in buffs. Yeah,
trade buff and also lane swap here. MILLENIUM up in his top lane, SK down his bottom lane. So normally, you want to see SK Gaming, because they're in the bottom lane with their dual lane, go for an early dragon. But if MILLENIUM send down Jree, if they send down Kevin and KottenX, there's multiple members to try and stop this dragon, and it should be enough to actually prevent SK Gaming from going dragon early. So we need to see how they want to play with Jree, and if they want to try and stop an early dragon, or if SK even wants to start it.
Well, with both top laners with the Doran Shield, it suits them well to be in a 2v1. Of course, they have that regen health gen. They don't have to get the lifesteal on there, which has been changed. Kerp taking some big abuse from Jesiz early on here. Couldn't pull that card quick enough to land it on Jesiz. Was slightly out of range. So blue buff rotation. You can see KottenX in there, along with the buddy system that they have with Kevin. And it seems they're going to go maybe a 4-on-1 dive on this top lane.
And SK like to do this where they actually keep Freddy in this 1v2, just trying to get as much XP as possible. Won't necessarily get any CS, but he's trying to get XP. Already put down a ward here. Expected MILLENIUM to move multiple members up to try and dive him, which was the old style of lane swaps, where you would always try and go for the dive, force the top lane away. That's why they started jungling instead. because it was too risky to stay under the tower here. But something SK likes to do, it also means Svenskeren is farming by himself. And you actually see MILLENIUM with an early ward on Dragon as well. So they see this one, but because they're 4 top, it's going to be a Dragon for SK.
They will have the timer on it. It's going to take some doing for SK. It's a 3.5 minute Dragon start. That will get taken down, as you mentioned. They'll have the timer on it. Oh, Dark Binding just slightly off, not quite catching out Freddy. So Dragon goes down. Good start for SK Gaming. They are possibly going to lose that tower at the moment.
Should lose
it's
the
not
top tower.
Being pressured too hard, and Freddy is actually back in play.
Huh, it's okay. MILLENIUM backed away with both Kevin and KottenX. Didn't want to try and go for the tower here, just waiting for Creaton to poke it down, and Kevin actually teleported to this bot lane. Svenskeren is nearby though.
We'll see whether he goes for this one. He's taking the golems down first. That wave
Remember,
will
he
come
has
in.
his passive.
CandyPanda holding that one there. KottenX is backing off. Shook's just won the last game on Lee Sin. He's not going to get involved in this one unless KottenX needs a substitute quickly. As it is, Freddy in that top lane is holding off. Still hasn't got a single CS right now, but is absorbing the experience as the tower takes down those minions.
We could actually see MILLENIUM try and go for kill the tower up top and then swap down this bottom lane here and don't give a tower to SK, and therefore trade tower for Dragon early on. Kerp though needs to be a little bit careful in here. Svenskeren is staying around.
Freddy caught with a Dark Binding, but not a lot of damage following through. Svenskeren with that double buff, waiting for Kerp to step out.
So both Ghost and Flash are going to be very hard for SK to kill him so close to the tower as well. Not sure if Svenskeren was waiting around for a counter gank instead, in case KottenX was in there to try and get a kill. Now he's down this bottom lane and will actually be able to get the counter gank.
And then KottenX is there, and actually he's going to hope that he pulls in towards him. KottenX maybe stepping out. Look at him, he's edging, he's twitching. He's desperate to go for this one. He talks about how he loves to get those kills, but he's not quite edge enough. He's lost the red buff. The red buff's timed out. Now KottenX has gone deep on this one. Svenskeren couldn't come around the back of the side of them. They're going to try and lock on towards him. They need to land that grasping root. Oh, it's just off the side. Does not land. And KottenX will be safe for now. Hasn't parked off yet, though.
They're simply waiting for MILLENIUM to push even further out. Otherwise, CandyPanda can just freeze the lane if MILLENIUM doesn't push it all the way. So that's why Svenskeren is still staying around here, hoping they will keep pushing up.
Well, mid lane's been pressured. They've put the damage down and forced Kerp away so far. With Jesiz is backing off there. Meanwhile,
he's in behind him.
Svenskeren's around the backside. It's Freddy. Kevin, they're going to go for. Can they pop that blood? Well, it doesn't seem that they will. And he just pounces out of range. Didn't even need to burn the flash.
But this means now CandyPanda can freeze this lane if he wants to and deny a lot of farm away from Kevin, while Freddy, once this tower actually goes down, will try and pick up some farm in case Creaton and Jree leaves the lane. But now they did a very good job actually resetting the entire wave. The tower got to kill it, and therefore lost a lot of minions for Freddy. He couldn't pick up the CS, just only got the experience. And now's the time where he needs this minion wave to come down to him so he can start getting some farm, while CandyPanda in this bottom lane, you see him now, is gonna freeze it by himself and force Kevin away, so he won't be able to pick up any CS.
Toying with the emotions of Freddy there, trying to get them last hits on the CS, just keeps bullying him away. Now he feels he's comfortable. He knows in a one-on-one, so he feels he can actually get some experience, and more importantly, that siege minion was there, so he gets him that vital gold.
And this is one of the things SK Gaming as a team does really well. They know exactly where they need to have Svenskeren early on. The reason he stayed in bot lane for such a long time, even though it was very hard to get a kill on either Lee Sin or Aatrox, was simply to prevent him from pushing out the wave, forcing Kevin away, and giving CandyPanda some free time to farm.
Well, gives Freddy some free time to farm in this top lane. There's a big wave though coming in for Kevin, so he's going to be happy once that goes on towards him. They're happy to trade as well, back and forward. They're both feeling a lot more confident. So CandyPanda going back, 1200 gold on him. We'll see what he comes out with. It is going to be a Blade of the Rune King he's heading towards. Bilgewater Cutlass already picked up by Creaton though.
Yeah, so this is one of the good things about Blade of the Rune King as the first item, is you can actually build these long swords and a dagger without completing the Cutlass and still be very strong in the lane, because you get all these early items which you then upgrade into the Blade later on. So Cutlass now for Creaton on Lucian. Not Cutlass yet for CandyPanda, so slight advantage now to Creaton in the lane.
Well, we just saw in the previous matchup Kerp with, Overpower with the triple Doran's. Now we're seeing Kerp with the triple Doran's ring as well. Saw how far it set him back against Froggen. Not really being punished as hard by Jesiz, but he's got a long way towards that Athene's already.
And Froggen yesterday in Twisted Fate did the same thing. Triple Dorans into Morello Normicon, then he started building towards the Death Cap, and so on. I actually believe maybe he went Hourglass in the game, but still, we could see the same thing for Kerp here. Doesn't want to build their Fiends, because again, it is changed a little bit. He doesn't feel like he needs it because of blue card. Jree taking some damage here, and Zyra against Morgana is a very good matchup for Zyra, because you can really poke her a lot.
There's a good trade back and forward between the two. CandyPanda taking some abuse back in the top lane. You can see they're just clobbing each other. I keep mentioning the fat lads from Grimsby, and that's exactly what's going on here. I don't think Freddie is from Grimsby, and I know for a fact Kevin isn't, but anyone from Grimsby knows exactly what I mean.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm lost.
Think of a fishing town in your beautiful, beloved Denmark.
Esbjerg.
There you go, Esbjerg, yeah.
It was actually one
is
you
that how
went
you pronounce it? I said Esbjerg. I do, Esbjerg.
Esbjerg.
Esbjerg, there we go. Today I learned.
Well, come back to Denmark. I can show you around.
Show me the sights.
Sadly, it is actually a pretty boring country. We don't really have anything.
Okay, that's not really advertising the country how they probably would imagine it. Nevertheless, back to League of Legends, because right now the farming session in this bottom lane is about to hit level 6. You can see CandyPanda was already firing off those rockets. Jree's going to catch on, puts the shackles down, and nRated is going to get stunned out here. He's going to go down. Of course, the plant passive, he's not gone down yet. There he is. Jree now in trouble. Can he land the shot? He does, and it's going to get followed. CandyPanda gets the revenge kill.
So it was actually not level 6 on to nRated yet. He got it as he died here. Maybe with the kill he managed to pick up. Kerp though, down his bottom lane.
Gonna come in, lands the gold guard onto CandyPanda. The damage from the culling from Creaton as he flashes in, gets one down. Svenskeren turns it back around, gets one. Can he get two? Yes, he does. Captain Surprise is not gonna catch on. Well, it doesn't matter. CandyPanda already got in there and got the kill with the Captain Surprise.
And Kevin now teleported down, too late for the fight here, so his teleport is gone. Freddy's farming the top lane. Creaton now, of course, will return to the lane a little bit late, so should be some farm for Kevin, but what a fight here. Early level 6 for Jree, so he went all in onto nRated here, followed him even after the flash, got the stun onto him, he went down, but then a beautiful passing from nRated, got Jree so low, one more hit from CandyPanda, it was a kill, and overall, I mean, SK Gaming coming out ahead of everything.
Equal in gold still between these two teams. Remember, Dragon was picked up by SK early on. That is back up and alive. First tower, of course, was taken by MILLENIUM in the top lane. Jree gonna just get a little spiteful on Svenskeren, I feel there, landing the
good damage though.
The Tormented Soil and the binding, letting the white do the damage on Svenskeren. Blue buff will be spawning. Tell a lie, it's already been taken, I think. I can see it already on him. Yes, that's the Svenskeren's blue buff, which he took off Kerp, and Jesiz already has his own. And speaking of Dragon, I did say they took it only on 3.5 minutes. Looks like they're going to go for it again.
So Kevin was recalled without teleport, but he's already moving towards the Dragon in case SK started it. So they're backing away here. They know they're not really in a position to just straight up force the Dragon. You have to tank it. But then on the other hand, they feel very confident actually starting it, so they're going straight forward.
Freddy is in that top lane. He's got teleport available if he's needed. But Jesiz is
completely out of
backing
position
off.
here.
This is going to get taken, and nRated's coming up. He sees the ward down there, but, well, Jesiz is gone.
Yeah, very surprising here by SK Gaming. I mean, Jesiz was recalling the mid lane, kept recalling. Svenskeren moved away from the Dragon, and of course Freddy was just freezing the top lane with teleport, however. But then just went straight for Dragon. Didn't even care. SK completely out of position. Easy Dragon for MILLENIUM.
So, even lane still between these teams. We'll see how that progresses. Bilgewater Cutlass was picked up by CandyPanda when he died last time around. Berserker Greaves were completed by Creaton, so he came towards those boots early on. So these AD carries, it's a tight fight between them, honestly, and you can see 87 to 87 CS between the two. They are very much evenly matched. Two very good AD carries here in Europe. Svenskeren clearing out pink ward, giving him coverage. Should mention this top lane, actually. Freddy's been freezing this one for a very long time, actually, back at his
We'll
tower.
start pushing now, though. We'll slowly start pushing towards the top lane here today. Kevin needs to make sure he goes up there once the wave activates and gets it. Jree going very aggressive.
Soul Shackles straight away. CandyPanda will go down. He's going to take a lot of damage before he does. He's turning.
Coming in.
Kerp's going to join in, and nRated's in trouble. Stun card catches on. It's a double, but at the cost of Jree.
And MILLENIUM really invest everything into this bot lane here. Every single ulti from Kerp down to the bot lane. KottenX as well, always staying around here. Kevin needs to go in and try and clear this wave here to stop it from going down. Svenskeren is nearby, however.
Yeah, it may cost them this turret. That will drop down. You can see Kevin's trying to keep them at bay. Top lane, of course, still being left available. So, first turret of the game for SK. Second one should go to MILLENIUM. Those minions, well,
Just making sure.
Creaton's just double checking he does go down. He's not confident, is he? There we
Get
go.
it down, however. So once again, Jree setting up the fight in bot lane. Kerp joins in. KottenX is there. This time around, Svenskeren wasn't nearby to turn things around. Freddy, of course, was just pushing his top lane, so didn't teleport down to try and counter gank. And MILLENIUM managed to pick up some kills. And we talked about how with this pick comp here, MILLENIUM, they need to get kills early on. They need to be aggressive. And it's what we see. Every time they have the chance, They go towards these kills here, and we also see Blade of the Ruined King on Creaton. So looking for the early power, looking for these early fights.
Kevin keeping those minions cleared out. Freddy. And actually, both of these, it seems that it may be a Sunfire Cape start. I'm not too sure. It's either going to be Blade of the Ruined King or Sunfire Cape. Which way are they going to go? Kevin, you would assume, would go for the Blade of the Ruined King, but you can see he's already got that Chain Vest on him just to prevent the damage.
So yeah, both of them gonna go for the Blade. Question is, will they complete the tank item first or not? I don't think Freddy will. Just straight towards Blade. Focus on pushing the lane here, building up towards his tank and his later on then when he can join in for team fights. Again, SK Gaming, they just want to scale up to the late game. They're not looking for any big fights here early on. They just want to farm as much as possible and make sure MILLENIUM don't get any easy kills.
CandyPanda takes himself the white blue buff to Jesiz, locking and securing that one. And of course, with that mid lane turret going down, it has opened up a little bit here for SK. We'll see whether they do manage to move into an objective. Blue buff, of course, for Kerp. Red card did not take it. KottenX got it.
Yeah. So this mid tower being gone is actually a big deal because it means SK can move a bit further in and get some wards to try and spot Kerp when he moves to either gank a side lane or whatever he decides to do. And now SK Gaming as well. 4 members together going in towards the tower because Creaton was left in his bottom lane. No, they can go in and get some damage.
Half the hit points taken off that, and nRated is going to get caught out. They go for CandyPanda, but then no damage to follow up, and KottenX just gets blown up where he stands. Svenskeren actually caught with the gold card. He may go down. Creaton comes in just in time to call in, putting down the damage, but Wild Growth will keep him alive, and SK back off.
We saw CandyPanda here. As soon as he spotted the Q from KottenX, he actually flashed because he knew he was going to be the target here, so he had to flash even before KottenX arrived. And therefore he only got kicked into the wall. They could just turn around, and now they want to go for Kevin up in his top lane.
Yeah, they're going to react quickly to this one. SK making a move straight in towards there. Jesiz comes around the corner. Kevin already making tracks. Svenskeren was ready and waiting to pounce. Meanwhile, MILLENIUM, they're pushing the mid lane. It's actually CandyPanda and nRated, the only two defending it. Kerp making his way up towards the top. They need to go defensive duties. They realize SK are pushing for their second turret of the game.
They also realized that both Zyra and Kog'maw was staying to defend. Kerp coming in though for the gank.
CandyPanda does manage to get the slowdown. He's going to get caught up. It's actually the Dark Binding comes in, and Creaton finally finishing off. Freddy teleports into the mid lane. They save the tower, but they lose their AD carry.
Lost the top tower as well here. Did manage to get the mid tower. Only managed to pick up a kill, and then SK quickly moves in there to try and defend it. Dragon, 1 minute and about 25 seconds. So for now, they can't really use the kill for much more than just getting some gold in the bank.
So despite the fact they did lose a kill, they got themselves a tower. SK Gaming come out slightly ahead, but in terms of gold, you can see very even between the two, farm-wise across the board. 2-2 in towers, 5-5 in kills.
Dragon for MILLENIUM.
Working out well. Dragon back and forth for SK and MILLENIUM. Next Dragon up in a minute's time. Who is likely to go for it? Really, at this time, you talk about SK, how they're happy to farm, happy to keep going. Should they be trying to go for these 5v5 fights at the Dragon?
So the thing is, because they have Lulu and Zyra, they can really protect whoever MILLENIUM decides to engage on. So they should be able to teamfight pretty well, but they still want to go towards this late game point. It's the big deal for them, especially now also with AD carries, where you're going to see the Ghost Blade on Creaton. He's going to be so strong for the next team fight here. And MILLENIUM, of course, will try and look for a pick in this fight, while the members from SK are still fairly squishy, and they can just lock down the target and go straight for the kill. If they can get it, even before the Dragon spawns, they're going to use it to get objectives.
They're in trouble, caught out by the Dark Binding. The rest of this MILLENIUM going to collapse on towards this one. The Cullen, not quite enough to catch him out. He's saved off by his Payne team. 12 seconds until the Dragon comes up. Freddy runs in a little too deep. Wild Growth saves his life. Then the Stranglethorns go down. But Kevin pounces in. He gets scored out. Bloodwell pops. But SK are all so low on health. Creaton comes through. They could wipe out and pick themselves up an ace here. nRated in there. But CandyPanda still free farming off the side. You can see throwing out his ultimate, trying to catch on towards him. Creaton is singled out a little bit. Glitter Lance from Jesiz not quite landing. And SK, they're going to start the Dragon off. This is a risky start.
And they're very low already. Oh, the binding hit onto Jesiz as well. Creaton coming in.
Creaton going big. He doesn't get the double tap. He gets locked up and straight away taken down nRated with a great grasping route to lock him in with his place.
And nRated really been playing well in the Zyra here, landing the roots, putting down his ulti to disengage every time. And Dragon to SK Gaming here. They're very low after the fight. Managed to actually get Kevin out of his passive. Teleport as well on cooldown. Such a back and forth fight. I mean, first they actually, MILLENIUM went on to Svenskeren, had to back away. Then we saw the ulti coming in, they went on to Freddy, who was very squishy in the start, got the wild growth from Jesiz, who is level 12 at the moment. And just overall, everyone was so low in the end.
Definitely a tricky, close match right now between these two teams, but SK Gaming have always come out on top when it hits that late game. They are so strong at clean objectives. You can see Jesiz rushing down that mid lane, trying to protect it.
We really saw the disengage potential for SK as well. First the ulti from nRated, everyone backed away from MILLENIUM. Then we had Jesiz with the wild group onto Freddy, so he stayed alive, and they could just slow everyone, force MILLENIUM to back away from the dragon here. And once they actually started the dragon, and the binding landed onto Jesiz, quickly shielded himself. Creaton thought he could get an easy kill, instead just turned around, root once again from nRated onto Creaton, and he was dead. And dragon for SK.
So SK Gaming with a minute lead, 2,000 gold overall between the two teams. Will they start to focus on objective? Of course, the top laners are starting to get a little bit stronger now. You can see Blade of the Ranking was completed by Freddy. He's also picked himself up a giant spell, while Kevin looks like he's rushing towards a Radiance rather than a Sunfire Cape. Instead, he's of course had that build to cut this for a while.
And we really saw Freddy here in the last fight, how squishy he actually is early on. He definitely needs some tanky items as fast as possible. It was hard for him to pick up any farm now that the wave is actually pushing towards Kevin over this top lane.
Well, blue buff for Kerp. V comes around there. SK actually still groups. Remember, they've already taken half the hit points off that middle inner turret. So MILLENIUM have got to be careful they don't get caught out of position. Don't give CandyPanda some free time, because that max range W from CandyPanda can do a lot of damage. nRated caught out, locked up by Darkpine in a good wild card from Kerp there.
It is scary for SK Gaming. Every single time Jree fires away the binding, if you get hit by it, you're going to take a lot of damage. Might even be followed up by a gold card from Kerp, and you just lock down a target for multiple seconds and possibly kill it. We saw how much damage nRated already took, and he's now out of position.
Oh, he's separated. Twisted Fate going to go for this one. Kerp too slow. Not going to get in there in time. The problem is for SK, more for MILLENIUM, is SK have got some great wave clear. You can have the vomit coming out from CandyPanda, the Bio Arcane Barrage as well, firing out.
Yeah, Lulu,
waves.
Zyra.
Lulu with the Glitter Lance, as you mentioned, the Zyra in there. It's really hard for them to get in there if they don't get a pick. And this is what we talked about MILLENIUM. They're all about picks, and they're doing the exact same thing again here.
It's the playstyle they love to play, and also it's the reason you see SK Gaming early picking Lulu to try and counter this whole pick style here, and then also nRated with Zyra just to disengage these fights. And also it makes it very hard for MILLENIUM to even dive onto SK, because there's so much CC and so many members who can either get knocked off or slowed down, and therefore they won't be able to do anything. And now CandyPanda getting this tower down the bottom lane, loses the mid lane one.
And they've lost Jesiz in the process. I was just thinking that 1 man versus 4 does not compute. And MILLENIUM, they could keep on going here. They're going to push on towards that inner turret. This is going to be a problem, and SK Gaming have caught out a little bit of tactical surprise there. Teleport from Freddy, he's going to come in there. That's a great ultimate from Svenskeren, tries to catch up to 3 of them. Kerp's going to get taken low, but it's not enough. You can see CandyPanda is rushing into this fight. SK are running towards him right now. Teleport was cancelled. I think it may have been interrupted by Kevin in the top lane. You can see they're going back and forward. Kevin's also taken very low up here. He's going to jump away from it, and the tower is safe for now, but SK, that was a close moment.
So Kevin, he saw Freddy move away from him here, so he could teleport in for the team fight and just interrupted him, took a lot of damage for it and had to back away, but still managed to save the tower, at least from SK's side with Freddy, and Kevin managed to save his teammates because he stopped Freddy from actually joining the fight. So overall, both top laners can actually be fairly happy here. We just see the interrupt. Freddy didn't even have time to go into the bush, just had to straight away teleport. He actually kills Kevin here, so his pass was going to be procced, and then he escapes afterwards.
Bloodwell pops out, he will be able to get away from that one. Didn't use the flash, actually, got away without using that one. So, SK Gaming still with the slightest, the smallest of leads over MILLENIUM. This is not over by a long shot.
Keep thinking late game.
If they keep catching people out, if Kerp can get out there, get them gold cards, land it onto CandyPanda, who is the main damage dealer for SK Gaming, it could cause problems for SK.
Yeah, and of course for MILLENIUM, it's a bit of a ticking time bomb as well. They know they need to make plays, they know they need to get some kills here. Because SK Gaming, despite the fact they're hit now, and the fact they can now farm even though we're only 22 minutes in, actually looking fairly good. Still, MILLENIUM looking to make some plays. Dragon come up in about a minute.
So difference in item build right now. CandyPanda are actually going for the Infinity Edge as the second item on Kog'maw.
So normally you see Trundle in Kog'maw. It's very good if you want to kite around in team fights, you get some mobility, you can try and stay alive. But because he has Zyra and Lulu, he feels like he can go more damage. He doesn't need the kiting abilities from Trundle and can therefore go straight for the Infinity Edge and do as much damage as possible now.
Yeah, I like the fact that obviously in 4.10, a lot of these AD carries, the top pros, still all undecided about the perfect build. Of course, sometimes it can be very much down to exactly who you are facing in lane or in the game itself, so they're going to itemize especially for it. While this is all happening, of course, Freddy and Kevin still going at it in this top lane. We saw how well that worked out for him last time around. Kevin did get taken down, so he's got to be careful he doesn't get too far away from that tower.
Freddy's definitely the stronger top laner at the moment in this one-on-one here. We just see him every time there's a fight, actually. Kevin has to go, he has to back away, even pop the passive before when he actually stopped Freddy from teleporting in. So things are looking good for him. He's just farming away as much as possible as well.
We'll see how these supports build out. Haunting Guys was picked up by nRated. Jree spotted out that this dragon is being taken. KottenX is going to come in. Is he going to fight it? He gets it and gets out safe. Hit and run.
Very, very nice play, and it's very important you get these steals as well, especially for MILLENIUM. They don't want to fall too far behind, so they can't make any plays. So very good steal by him, making sure he gets some global gold. And we actually do see Jree here building towards the Mikhails, which generally you want to have against something with a lot of CC. I mean, on the side of SK Gaming, we could definitely see a Mikhails from nRated later on, but SK's lineup is more about slows here than actually stuns.
We'll see whether that works out. Aegis also being picked up by KottenX as well, so the first time we've seen a jungler pick that one up for a while. Randy and Zabone picked up by both Freddy and Svenskeren. They're going to stack in towards them. Lich Banes by both of the mid laners. MILLENIUM, are they going to manage to find themselves a pick? It doesn't really matter when they can just go in and steal a dragon like that away from SK. I guess it's kept them within shooting distance of SK. Still only 1,000 gold between them this game, as you mentioned at the start. Possibly going to go long. MILLENIUM, though, they have to try and finish this one earlier than SK.
And it's the issue for them now, and it's why we see them move so much around the map. They don't just group 4 members and move up the mid lane, because they know the wave clear from SK is so strong. So they keep spreading out, keep trying to find openings. Dragon is one of them, which KottenX managed to steal. And now Kerp going towards Freddy in this top lane.
Catching on towards him, stun card goes in. Oh, he actually avoided the wild card coming through there. He's going to try and delay this one. He's got no support, so I'm not sure where exactly he's running to. He's delaying. I see. He's delaying the mid lane. You can see they're rushing in towards teleport coming out. Kevin's going to get on towards there. They should hold this turret.
Will be able to hold it. Not even taking any damage for it actually. Yes, so MILLENIUM, they got a kill. Might look for a fight as well.
They're rushing down the mid lane. You can see KottenX tries to get onto them. They're slowing them down. Kerp's about to come out the side there. They jump on towards Svenskeren. CandyPanda's going to be targeted. He's going to be the focus. Soul Shackles from Jree. Locks on towards him. Dark Binding catching on CandyPanda. Wild Ghost saving CandyPanda, but no. He's trying to get away. He can't damage to get the damage down. Cathy in surprise may actually explode on Kevin the moment he respawns. It will do, but it doesn't matter because MILLENIUM, they got the picks. It's a 3-for-1.
So first to get a kill in top lane here. Kevin instantly teleports down to mid lane, and then Kerp runs down. They start a fight MILLENIUM here. Jree, once again, gets into the back line. He gets onto CandyPanda, locks him down with Binding and his ulti, and then the rest of MILLENIUM comes in and kills him. Even though everything from Jesiz was used to try and save CandyPanda, it wasn't enough. If he gets locked down, MILLENIUM will be able to get a kill onto him, and that's the big issue because he's the main damage dealer for SK Gaming.
Great read by MILLENIUM there to spot the situation.
And
they
the
knew
picks,
exactly what the delay was, and you mentioned they got the picks. They managed to lock out CandyPanda. And you can see the protection. Everything was thrown at CandyPanda. Save this AD carry. When he goes down, everybody has to scatter like the wind. And this time around, MILLENIUM find themselves the picks, and you can see it's actually dragged them while they were, what, 1.5k behind. They're now 500 gold in the lead, and of course with that tower advantage, that middle inner turret is a big one to take down. Takes away a lot of the vision that SK can afford without those minions.
We also saw the power of Creaton once he actually joined in. Glittering King Ghostblade, he does so much damage with his 6 seconds, now building towards Vintage. Another reason why Ghostblade is a good item, because it gives you 15% crit already, synergizes really well with your Vintage, and therefore he's really looking for the next fight here to just destroy people if he can. And of course, MILLENIUM are looking to try and lock down CandyPanda.
Kerp was Creaton showing himself down that bottom lane. There's a big wave coming up here. MILLENIUM making SK making a big move on this inner turret, and honestly, they may well be able to get to it. They've got a lot of damage down on towards. They can see MILLENIUM. They've actually moved into position. CandyPanda can get himself a free wave, but he doesn't fancy it. They don't fancy it. They realize they've not got there quick enough. There's another minion wave coming in. CandyPanda out of position.
What are you doing?
Kick and bounce. That is it. MILLENIUM could rush and turn onto this one. You can see the culling coming out. Freddy's having to tackle that one up. They're going to chase back on towards it. Where is Kerp going to go?
There's going to be Baron
side expected. Stun guard on towards Svenskeren. Oh, follow back down. Finding beautiful, beautiful play from MILLENIUM and they turn this game on
Baron.
its head and get themselves another 3 picks.
Such a big mistake by CandyPanda. He didn't have flash, he used it in the last fight, and he stayed in the front. So as soon as KottenX went in, landed a Sonic Wave onto Freddy, he knew, I can get CandyPanda, easy peasy. Kicks him back, he's instantly dead here, and now onto the Baron here. 2 members for SK trying to defend.
Soul Shackle's still available for Jree if he wants to go for it, he may well. Jesiz actually taken very low from this one, he gets caught out. KottenX lands the Sonic Wave, they go back in and start the Baron once again. It's still only down to half health, nRated the only man off the side. He's already used the Stranglethorns, he's going to have to try and pull some miracle move here. Teleport available for Freddy, they're trying to delay, it's not enough. MILLENIUM get Baron.
MILLENIUM gets the Baron and a lot of kills here. Everything about CandyPanda, once we actually get the replay rolling, just look here. CandyPanda in the front by himself. KottenX, this is an easy kick for him. No chance to even wild growth CandyPanda because Jesiz is so far back here and CandyPanda was kicked into the team. And then MILLENIUM can just chase. Pops the ulti from Kerp. He goes in, doesn't even stun Freddy because he's so low already. Goes for the next target flash. And this is what we talk about with the single target stun. Followed in by binding. Doesn't matter which way you do it, you lock down a target for multiple seconds and MILLENIUM picks up another kill.
Fantastic stuff. And you know, we talked about how easy it is to read MILLENIUM. We know what they're going to do, but they do it very well. And when it works out beautifully. It's given themselves a 4,000 gold lead now. And of course, with that Baron buff, they can try and push an advantage. SK have regrouped. They're going back in that mid lane once again.
CandyPanda was actually up in his top lane here, just trying to pick up every single bit of farm he can, because again, it's all about him. His flash should be up for the next team fight, but he might look for some defensive items because he's the target every single time. Maybe it isn't enough for him just with Zyra and Lulu to defend him in these fights.
The problem is you can see how far he's actually fell behind Creaton. Creaton now, of course, had that Yomo's Ghost Blade and the Blade of the Rune King. A little bit ahead of yourselves there, guys. They do manage to get the Dragon down. Infinity Edge, though, was bought outright on that last bug. Meanwhile, of course, CandyPanda, he got that Infinity Edge on Blade of the Rune King. Now he's going to try and get some attack speed. Maybe, potentially, the Phantom Dance going to come out there. But as you mentioned, he now needs something defensive. He needs to get out of those scary positions that he keeps putting himself into.
We, of course, have to give credit to KottenX. I mean, saw the opportunity, landed a Q on the Fred, and just saw, okay, CandyPanda, you're out of position. Instantly jumped him, flash kicked him back to the rest of the team. So we need to see what happens here in the next team fights. I don't feel like MILLENIUM can actually dive onto SK Gaming with all the CC, with all the AoE from SK Gaming here to knock up targets, to slow multiple targets. It becomes very risky to dive. They might try and go for it with Kerp here. No Hourglass, however, so he can't really go in first. You need him to jump in with the passive.
Well, SK a 5-man defending this one. Well, of course, Kevin is pushing that top wave. He's just getting himself a gigantic chunk of farm, pushing it all the way around. And let's not forget, an Aatrox, if he's left free on the tower, will do a hell of a lot of damage on towards him.
Definitely, and they could even put Kerp in the mid lane now, and then he pushes up the mid lane. We have top lane being pushed up by Kevin, and then they just stay safe in his bot lane, clear the wave every single time, make sure it's around the tower of SK, and in case something happens, Kerp just teleports in. If it's up in the top lane, they could dive onto onto Freddy, kill him, 2v1, and then take the tower. But for now, Kerp is staying with the team in his bottom lane here, so Kevin is all alone against Freddy.
Going to try and get around the side there. Look at KottenX, he's sneaking. He hasn't got flash available this time. He'll be off cooldown. He wants to get on towards CandyPanda once again. He was dangerously putting him close out there. Ward going down off the side. Yep, they know that KottenX is trying to sneak around. He's going to sweep both of those lenses. There's going to be the culling coming out. Didn't really catch a great deal on anyone, but he does buy them time to catch on. Svenskeren caught out with the Dark Binding. Sonic Wave catches. They don't follow through on that one. CandyPanda does get that wave cleared down, but SK is slowly being chipped down here by MILLENIUM.
Move Kerp to the mid lane. There's no hard engage on the side of SK, so he will always be able to join in. There's even Black Shield on Jree to disengage, and he's moving towards the top lane. He might go for the dive here for the 2v1. Should be able to kill Freddy and then take the tower, and then they can just back away down this bottom lane. And finally, Kerp behind the mid lane.
You clear out that mid lane. CandyPanda's the one that's going to rotate around and try and deal with that defensive duties, but that takes a lot away. Of course, they still have Jesiz on Lulu. Look at the goal, switching back and forward between Creaton and CandyPanda. You can see CandyPanda had snuck himself an advantage, but clearly that big fight, that turned it around for Creaton.
And look at the way Freddy plays on this top lane. He knows there's a chance Kerp is nearby, so he had to back away from the tower. As soon as he saw Kerp in the mid lane, he actually backed away and let Kevin just go crazy on the tower, kill it now. So at least MILLENIUM got a tower from the Baron so far.
It was a Baron of opportunity, and a Baron well-worked opportunity it was for MILLENIUM. Instead, They are now with a 5-3 advantage. You can see SK going to try and make a play.
There's their teleport top.
Spotted out. Destiny comes in. It's not close enough, and Freddy does get out alive, but they're going to put some damage down on towards it. Remember, this is a Lich Payne as well on Kerp. They could try and take that tower down. Freddy doing a good job at clearing those minions, making Kerp tank out the hits.
So Freddy, he instantly flashed away as soon as he saw Kerp here. Had to use ulti as well to try and defend the wave, but he managed to hold MILLENIUM off the tower for now. Bot lane still taking some damage though every single time MILLENIUM has a chance.
Destiny also actually uncovered Svenskeren, as you mentioned, because he was trying to sneak around the side of MILLENIUM, uncovered him. This time he's going to try it again. Destiny is not available. They are 3-on-4 on this bottom lane pairing.
There's actually a pink ward from SK Gaming. They did it for a long time, just making sure they can see if MILLENIUM moves towards the mid lane. Didn't get spotted out, so MILLENIUM backs away. They got one tower with the Baron, and also forced away a flash from Freddy, and a lot of gold now to spend, of course. Yeah,
by both teams actually, so everybody's going to step back from this one, take a breather. Baron will be up in just shy of 2 minutes. Dragon will shortly follow. MILLENIUM, of course, have the timers on everything because they cleared it all out. Kevin coming in is going to try and sweep everything clear. Quicksilver Sash being picked up by CandyPanda.
Okay.
Wise use on that one. Going to make sure it's locked up by those gold cards or binding.
Yeah.
Jesiz and the rest of SK actually shoved very well on these lanes. They're making sure they're getting pushed out of their base.
Just very smart by CandyPanda saying, I'm clearly the target. I need a defensive item. Even though I have a lot of protection, it's not enough here. There's no black shield to stop a stun. No mid-kills, or now actually there's a mid-kill, sorry, onto nRated as well. So yeah, Quicksilver Sash, he can upgrade into Scimitar, which of course is a great item now in 4.10, and also cleanse from their mid-kills from nRated here. So everything invested into trying to keep CandyPanda alive.
Yeah, they're going to make sure he doesn't get stepping out in front there. So the flashback available on KottenX as well, and should point out, of course, he managed to catch on last time. So, Dark Binding on Freddy, not going to do a great deal, not going to follow up on that one. Keeps him at bay, and it's SK that are back pushing again. They're now feeling confident enough with that Baron worn off MILLENIUM that they can still win team fights.
There's still 2 pink wards from MILLENIUM around the Baron here, which SK didn't actually manage to clear. So MILLENIUM already with some ward control for the next Baron spawning here, and if SK is out of position, or if one of them get picked off, it could be the next Baron again for MILLENIUM. And this time around, I think they're going to be more aggressive with it and not keep Kerp in the bottom lane with the rest of the members if they feel like they have a chance to actually dive onto Freddy up in his top lane 2v1. Took them some time before. They did it in the very end. Managed to pick up one tower for it.
So Blue Wolf Steel coming out from here. It's going to be done. Binding question on Freddy once again. Can't get close to it. Dragon will be up in 25 seconds time. Baron in 3 seconds. That spawn right out there. Can they catch off some from MILLENIUM? We saw a little attempt at flanking there from Svenskeren. KottenX is in the pit ready and waiting. Remember, he stole one with a smite early on as SK were trying to grab the lead. Let's have a quick recap actually about how this game has flowed out, because we're at the 36-minute mark now. Dragon is going to be potentially the target, but it looks like MILLENIUM may try and trade this straight to Baron.
If they run to Baron now, there's a ward though in the mid lane spotting them move towards the Baron. You see even the ping here from SK Gaming, so they know, and they have to run to stop MILLENIUM from starting the Baron here.
Yeah, they give up on the Dragon. They're running straight up towards there. This Baron will go down very quickly, so the rest of SK are going to have to react quickly. They can see it's down to half hit points already. Dropping down 3,000 hit points. It's going to go before they get close. There it is. There's the Baron. And now SK engaged. Jree calls out. Jree goes down. Well, they're going to drive up towards it. Kevin's doing the front-loaded damage, but he's going to get out the Bloodwell. He's going to pop back out here. Where is Destiny going to go? Kerp comes out the side, catches on towards Svenskeren. CandyPanda, though, off the side. Wield the Wild Growth doing the damage. Kicked in. Straight away exploded. Kerp and Kevin piled the damage down, and it's an ace for MILLENIUM.
And SK Gaming, they had so much time to go in and clear these pink wards away, put their own ward at the Baron, but they didn't. So MILLENIUM with full control here. Fight actually starts. Notice Kerp up here in the top of your screen. He's gonna teleport behind the rest of SK. Instantly CandyPanda was the target. Gets a wild growth, everything. Stun onto nRated, so for now Kerp is just walking around. Nobody touches him. He doesn't take a single point of damage at this in this fight here. He can just do whatever he wants, and he just comes in the end.
Only
late game TF destroys people.
Only at the end they catch on towards him. MILLENIUM are going to push on through on this one. They can finish the game right here. They've taken down the turrets. They had a minion wave in the top there. Nexus drops, and SK Gaming have been taken down by MILLENIUM. That will absolutely put a dent in their